Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. I'm your host, William Lou. I'm coming to you live after the Toronto Raptors take down the Golden State Warriors by a score of 81-69 to finish a perfect 4-0 in the group stages to finish number one in all the Summer League teams in the regular season, I suppose, to advance into the semifinals. A reminder, only 4 teams out of all 30 that participate in Summer League get to go into the semifinals. And the Toronto Raptors have been playing like they have one thing on their mind all summer, which is that they want to get this championship ring, that they want to play hard, that they want to compete. They brought together a lot of their players who, I mean, some of these guys will feature on the Raptors rotation, no doubt. I mean, Jamal Shead, Jacoby Walter, Collin Murray-Boyles, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, a lot of rostered players. And so they came into the Summer League with a focus, and I expected nothing less from these guys. If you watched the first 3 Summer League games, you knew the deal with the Raps. Like, the Raptors have established a defensive identity, especially with their young group, and they have been going after, they have been hounding players. It's almost funny to me when I watch, these teams like take on the Raptors. It almost feels unfair to some degree. It really does. Like, I think that most Summer League teams are like, okay, we're mostly randomly thrown together a bunch of strangers. We have some, mismatched priorities in the sense that some guys are just trying to make the league. Some guys are trying to make other leagues. There's, some rookies are trying to get featured, even though they're not necessarily the best players. Like, Summer League's always a mess. You know what I mean? And then they come up and they have to play the Raptors. And the Raptors are just this, like, this bully ball team that just comes after you defensively. And I think the number one reason, first off, the Raptors are 4-0 in Summer League. It's not like they've had dominant performances. It's not like they've had one guy carrying their team and he can't stop scoring. I mean, the closest thing to that will be AJ Lawson, I suppose. But, even AJ hasn't really been scoring that much in this game. He has a little cold game, 12 points or 4-12 shooting. Although, honestly, in this type of game, 12 points on 4-12 shooting is actually perfectly fine. Considering that the Raptors shot 32.5% from the field and the Warriors shot 32.8% from the field. But the number one reason the Raptors have been winning all of these games is because of their defense. In particular, not just their defense, but the way they're able to force teams into turnover. Toronto, they couldn't even score really off of Golden State's turnovers tonight. But if you just look at the official count, 34 turnovers against the Chicago Bulls in game 1, 29 against the Orlando Magic in game 2, 24 against Denver in game 3, and 27 turnovers forced tonight here against Golden State. That's over 100 turnovers forced in 4 games. And keep in mind, these are 40-minute games. These aren't even like the full 48-minute games. Like, these have just been master classes in defense. And obviously there's a lot in terms of the defensive scheme. The Raptors have played a super aggressive, more aggressive than they really would play in the actual regular season, because you're seeing the Raptors swarm the ball, you're seeing them pressure the full court, and you're seeing them double the ball quite a bit, even against guys who aren't great in terms of handling or even just offensive threats. Typically you would double offensive threats. The Raptors are kind of doubling the ball as much as they can. They're also rotating and sending a third guy to the first pass out, and they're trying to gamble for steals there. So it is like pretty much the most aggressive defense that we have seen from the Raptors basically since the 2020 season, the championship defense season. That season, obviously, they were playing really aggressive defense as well, kind of as a vestige of what they did in the run to the championship. But yeah, like, that is the reason why. And I think that is one part, which is obviously the tactics. The other part is just like how much these guys from top on down have all just been absolute dogs on the defensive end, man. Like, I can't stress enough seeing Jacoby Walter, like, have a terrible night offensively, like just absolutely terrible. Couldn't buy a bucket. The one basket he made was like a buzzer beater. He just threw the shot up and it went in. Thought that would open the buckets for him, but no, it did not. But defensively, it's like, okay, fine. I can't score, last night at 26. This time I can't score at all. Fine, I'm just going to get it back on the defensive end. You're seeing him force 8-second violations, diving to the floor. You're seeing him, get shoved off the ball and force offensive, fouls and get into the face of the opponents and frustrate them mentally. You're seeing Jamal Shead, once per game, he falls over on a screen and they give him the call. Like, basically, like, this is that Davion Mitchell style of defense that started the season for the Raptors last year, or more popularly, a Lou Dort. For OKC, like, he keeps buying those kind of fouls. You keep seeing the Raptors bigs like press out to the perimeter and crowd the paint, and you see Alra Shamshay, I thought, did a good job of protecting the basket for the most part, but realistically, this had to be a huge game from Collin Murray-Boyles, and he was amazing. I know he only gets credited for 4 steals. I swear this guy had like 15 deflections. Like, it was incredible watching him on the defensive end. Jamison Battle, I thought he had a lot of great rotations at the basket, coming over at the rim, and even though the Raptors bench, by and large, really struggled in this one, I thought Alijah Martin made a couple really big plays in the second half. I thought, Chucky Hepburn, even though he couldn't get anything going offensively, was also able to come over and create some havoc defensively. And again, like, that's the only reason the Raptors won, because like the Raptors offensively continued to struggle. Like, you don't know which night somebody's actually going to score for this team. The Raptors just don't have that. I think that Jamal's probably their most consistent offensive player, but he had a really cold game here tonight. I thought that it might be similar to the Denver game where he had a really bad first half, but then he would come on at some point and swing the game like he did against Denver to spark a 19-0 run, which flipped the whole entire contest. This game, Jamal never got it going, right? So, that never happened. Jacoby never really happened. And, besides the defense, the number one guy who was the Raptors' like bedrock here tonight was Collin Murray-Boyles, who I thought, first off, so in this game, Jonathan Mobley was ruled out with the right hand sprain. So that's really unfortunate because Mobley had been having a really nice summer league. He had been one of the biggest reasons why the Raptors were so successful as well. Not only on the defensive end, where we know he's already really good, but I thought he finished a lot of transition opportunities for the Raptors, and also just was a big body, was able to crash the paint, was able to get offensive rebounds, was able to, just finish in the paint just in general. I just thought he was he's been really efficient. I feel like he's shooting like 70% or something. So you had no Mobley, so that already put more strain onto Collin Murray-Boyles to sort of hold it down. But I also like the way that the Raptors opened this game, which was featuring a lot of CMB. Like they ran, I think, the first 5 possessions. One of them was a transition 3 that Jacoby Walter tried to take and he missed it. But the first 4 half-court possessions, they all flowed through Collin, and I really like that ability for him to facilitate some of the offense for the Raptors. Also, just play in the pick and roll for the Raptors. He had a finish on that end. He had a transition finish. He was setting guys up. I just thought he played a really, really important game on the offensive end, where again, like, most of the Raptors couldn't get anything going. Their main source of offense should be their backcourt. Jacoby and Jamal combined for 2 for 20 shooting, including 1 for 14 from 3. Luckily, those 2 guys were able to finish their free throws. Jacoby goes 4 for 5. Jamal goes 6 for 6. So that's actually more than half of their scoring. But seriously, when their backcourt goes 2 for 20, you shouldn't be able to score much, especially considering Colin Castleton continues to really struggle as the starting center for the Raptors. I mean, I see a lot of people are already out on Colin Castleton. I totally get it, but I mean, like, damn, bro, it's just a summer league guy. Anyway, my point is nobody else was really playing well, and it was Collin Murray-Boyles who, between his facilitating and running the offense in the first quarter, or just him getting some garbage buckets, or him getting a pick and pop 3 again, which was really fun to see him knock down a 3. He went 1 for 3 today. I think that was actually a really healthy amount just based on the type of shots that were open to him. He knocked down the first one, missed the second 2. But him getting on the offensive glass, him finishing in transition, him being able to push the break a couple times, and also just like, it's weird because you really have to watch the game to appreciate this, but this guy is just always in the right defensive position. And so he's always like getting a hand on the ball. He's always like bumping somebody and not really fouling either. I thought he did a really good job of defending without fouling, which I think he might have been the only guy in this game who wasn't fouling all that much, considering there was like 60 fouls combined as well. But he just kept getting these buckets, and it was putbacks, it was like rolls to the rim, it was transition. Second half it was some steals as well. The Raptors, first off, they really should have been down more than they were at halftime. Just considering the fact that the Raptors offense wasn't going at all. They only had 36 points at halftime, but their defense kept them in it. They were only actually down 1 going into half because of the fact that they were able to defend so well. And then in the third quarter, the Raptors actually took the lead with their starters making a good push, but then their bench came in and gave up like a 10-0 run. And so the Warriors were back right in the game. And then James Wade decided to actually play a lot of his starters, mixed it with a couple key bench players. I thought the guys who played well tonight off the bench, Alijah Shamshay, who actually got the start in the second half over Colin Castleton, and then Alijah Martin, who I thought was just really steady throughout the whole game. Very underrated role for him tonight. But like a combination of those bench guys were able to really, create another big run by the Raptors in the third quarter, and the Raptors used a 16. The Warriors went on a 12-0 run in the third quarter. The Raptors brought in some of their main guys and then finished the quarter on a 16-2 run to take a 9-point lead into the third quarter. And a lot of that was just their defense, man. I mean, again, like all game, the pressure was there. I thought actually the Warriors at first handled it well by making a couple extra passes. And that created open threes or open, just 2-on-1 opportunities at the basket, and they were finishing some of those too. But that third quarter, like I felt like the Raptors got through to them and they broke them. Like you had Collin Murray-Boyles with 3 straight baskets, a dunk, another steal where the Raptors splits the ball and then got the loose ball in the front court, and CMB dunked it. And then another putback where I think Alijah drove to the rim, missed it, but then Collin was right there for a putback. In that same stretch, Jacoby Walter was really, really leading the charge with his defense, where he like dove on the floor to create a deflection, where he was just guarding, just pressuring the ball handler one-on-one in the backcourt. And that deflection, even though he didn't get the steal, that delayed the ball handler enough that he couldn't cross half court with 8 seconds left, so that became a turnover. That was right in front of the Raptors bench. Seeing everybody just scream and pick him up was awesome. And then next play down, the Warriors did get it into the front court at least, but then Jacoby's guarding the ball, and he and this other guy, number 18, I don't even know what his name was for the Warriors, but he got into he was just frustrated, and he like hit Jacoby with the off arm when Jacoby went back flying, and there was another turnover forced in that stretch. I thought Jamison also did a great job in terms of, you don't usually think of him as defense. I think last year even the concern was, okay, maybe he can shoot, but can he defend? I thought tonight he did a really good job rotating at the basket, also guarding out the perimeter at the top too. Just the Raptors like sustained pressure. I think at first the Warriors, I think they definitely came in with the scouting report like, look, the Raps are going to do this to us. They forced like 80 turnovers coming into the last game. Like clearly they're going to do to us what they've done to the other teams. And I thought first half they did okay with it, but that third quarter, man, they just broke them. It was a stretch of turnover after turnover after turnover. And I think the other big thing is just the Raptors started finishing on those, because like Raps had lots of chances to blow this game, or at least like even just take the lead earlier, but they just weren't finishing in transition. They weren't capitalizing. They couldn't hit the threes. I mean, tonight the Raptors shot 5 of 35 from 3. That's 14%. Like, you really shouldn't even be able to win games in the modern NBA when you shoot 14% from 3. But again, like defensively, they were just at such a high level. And again, like a lot of that was Collin Murray-Boyles. Collin was like by far the best player in this game. Like honestly, like I don't even know who was a close second in terms of just the effectiveness, because it was the offensive end and it was a defensive end for Collin. I think that, my one of my concerns might just be like his fitness right now is just like, can he play more effectively in terms of just playing more extended minutes? He only played 25 tonight, and he still looked quite gassed at certain points of the game. Obviously he had missed a lot of time due to the injury, so like I'm not even questioning his conditioning. I'm just more so the fact that he had just come off of injury. But like, yeah, I mean, he was absolutely vital. Like he basically played Mobo's role for him while also playing his own position, and he was just extremely productive. Like 20 points, 9 rebounds, 6 offensive, 2 assists, 4 steals, 8 of 13 shooting, knocked down a 3, went 3 of 4 from the foul line in 25 minutes. That was absolutely huge. But again, like the Raptors also had to really find their way through this game, and this is where, it's funny because like a lot of teams, I'm watching them, like I'm like, all right, like tonight, for example, there were several teams that were 3-0 coming to the tonight, but they were still resting their guys. Like the Spurs, for example, they were 3-0 with a chance to obviously advance to the semifinals, and they're like, yeah, screw it, we're not really even going to play Dylan Harper. Like we'll still put like our number 14 pick, like Carter Bryant, in the game, but like realistically, we're just going to shut him down, right? There's like several instances of this across the league where guys are in good position, but they're like, you know what, we're okay. Like on Summer League, on the Raptors front, like they're coaching and competing every game to win. In fact, I think honestly, not that this is the most important thing, but if I were like these other guys on the team, like Tyson Dagenhart or like Eniwania Tate Jones or Clifford Omarui or Tyreek Key, although he got in the game a little bit today, or like Jarkel Joyner, or like just, Quincy Guerrier, these guys who like signed up, like they're not getting any burn. Like it's almost worse to be on a winning team when you are one of these guys hoping to make the league, because you're just in general not getting a chance to play. But I also appreciate the fact that the Raptors have come in with a clear and, definitive goal. Like, I was in those scrums with James Wade after game 1 where he was asked about if guys get shut down, what do you want to do? And he's like, no, I want them to keep going. Like, if it was up to me, I want them to keep competing. And Jacoby was kind of saying the same thing. And Collin Murray-Boyles was asked, post-game by Nabil Kareem, on NBA TV, like, yo, like, have you seen these summer league rings? And he's like, I'm not trying to see nothing but trying to compete and win the next game in front of me. Like, these guys are really serious about winning, and I think the atmosphere, even though it is summer league and even though it is a lower level, like, they're taking this thing absolutely seriously. So in that front, I actually really do appreciate the coaching that has been done by Coach James Wade, because you know what? A lot of coaching in summer league, I'm not going to judge because like these are just random guys. Like, for example, the Clippers summer league team is getting coached by Jeremy Castleberry, who is largely just Kawhi's guy in terms of just his, his go-to trainer that he's brought, from San Antonio to Toronto to now going to the Clippers. Like, whatever. I'm not going to judge most of the coaching in the summer league setting, but I'm watching like the Raptors and they want to compete and they want to win. So the coaching decision in terms of who plays when, what type of style we're playing, what type of end-to-mound plays we have, like all those things start to matter because the Raptors are actually trying to make these games matter. And I got to say, James Wade, I think he's done a good job. Obviously, he came into the summer league. Colin Castleton is a guy who's experienced, who's, not only older, he's played more time in the G League. And then obviously half a season with the Raptors last year when the Raps were tanking. So he comes to the summer league and he gets to start. I really have no issues with that, right? But as the games go on, it becomes more apparent that, like, you know what, he's probably not the Raptors' best option. And so you've seen the Raptors switch up their rotations in the second half. You saw tonight Alwar Shamshay getting the start in the second half. Of course, that means you got to readjust your rotation on the fly. And by the way, one thing that makes the coaching even harder is that the half times are like 8 minutes. So it's like half the time that you usually have for halftime. I don't even think you barely even get time to go downstairs to, like, talk your team and then come back up. Like, most times, I'm pretty sure you're not even doing much of that. And so, making these rotations, I guess adjustments to your rotation on the fly, I think has been really good. I think he also had to find like some sort of steady balance between, okay, I want my guys to play all out defense and they're pressuring full court. Well, that means I can't play any of my guys 30 minutes because realistically, it's just too much energy to try to expend. So that means I need to trust certain guys off the bench to do some things for me. And so tonight he trusted Chucky Hepburn. Tonight I thought he got a great effort from Alijah, so he played Alijah a little bit more. AJ Lawson, he's been really hot tonight. He was missing a lot, but he stuck with him long enough, and AJ started catching fire in the second half. AJ also continues to be really disruptive and force a lot of turnovers in transition, and so he's finishing those as well. And I just thought in general he managed the rotation well enough where ultimately nobody was too gassed towards the end, especially considering the fact that the Raps will have to play at least 2 more games now that they made the semifinals. Like, I think that the rotation was also managed in a good way. And again, like, I also thought that it was a good decision not to dial back the defense, because in the first half, I thought the Warriors genuinely felt like they knew what the Raptors wanted to do to them. And so they were like being able to pass around the double teams, and the Raptors got caught, like, giving up wide open threes in the corner, which is always the hardest place to rotate to, or they were getting up like just a odd number, rushes in transition. Like, I think another coach might have just decided, okay, let's ease up a little bit, let's play a little bit more straight up. But honestly, I'm happy they didn't do that because, number one, their half-court offense was never good at all in this game, so they needed those transition points to continue playing. But also, the second part is just like, if this is your identity, you stick out with your identity, man. So I love the fact that, like, they were able to just come in and just, like, press their advantage. And you eventually saw, like, the Warriors were either going to figure out the Raptors and just pass around them and ultimately, outscore the Raps, or the Raptors were going to break the Warriors with their defense. And that's what happened. The Warriors in the third quarter towards the end there broke down. The Raptors, hit them with that punch, and eventually the Warriors just did not have enough to come back with. And again, like, I think there's so much room for improvement on the offensive end. A lot of that has to do with their guards. I mean, like, look, the Raptors don't have, these dominant bigs that you're going to be able to run offense through. Like, this isn't like you have Hanson Yang getting the ball at the top of the floor and then running split cuts and letting him throw passes like Joker. Like, they don't have that type of player. And so they largely need their guards to sort of get them going. They also don't have a big wing either, like a Scotty Barnes, for example, like a Brandon Ingram, who can run a lot of their offense and sort of get theirs no matter what, just based on their size and be able to shoot over the top. But that means that they need their guards to be better than this. And I think that Jacoby and Jamal, I mean, literally look at last game against Denver. They were awesome in that game. And then tonight they come back with 7 points and 8 rebounds. Now, 7 points and 8 points apiece. Now, granted, I thought their defense was still really strong. I think both of them were really, really good defensively. Don't even look at the fact that Jamal only had 1 steal and that Jacoby had 0 steals and 0 blocks. Like, those guys were really disruptive on the defensive end. They forced a lot of turnovers just with their hustle and their energy. But I think offensively, that's where can Jamal get to his pick and roll a little bit better? I think part of that comes down to just getting better screens from Ulrich Shamshay in general. I thought Ulrich didn't always present himself as a great option on the roll, and sometimes he was fumbling a couple passes on the roll more than anything else. So can you create enough space for Jamal to, hit that quick crossover, get into the lane, and then shoot that little floater that he's been so good at? You just didn't see a lot of those tonight from Jamal. Granted, for Jamal, I think he needs to hit that pull-up three. A lot of times you see all the Warriors go under on these screens. And of course, they're worried about, Shamshay rolling to the basket and catching a lob. I mean, he definitely can do that. So they were going under on some of these screens, and Jamal had to just knock those threes down, and he just wasn't able to convert on those threes, which I think that, that's just a key part of just, him being able to play effective in the pick and roll game. And then Jacoby, I just thought his legs weren't really under him tonight. Like, he was short on most of his threes. The one shot that he made out of the 11 attempts, including 9 of those from 3, the one that he actually made was a buzzer beater where he just kind of flicked it up there and it went in. But I felt like at least 6 of his threes were short. And so I think more than anything else is just, finding a little bit more strength in his base and in his gather to sort of like go up and shoot it. He was just really short tonight, because outside of those guys, I'm not really sure who else can give me that consistent offense. I think Collin obviously is a guy who can score for you. I thought tonight I like the balance between his own individual creation and also his ability to, just play off of others, whether that's in transition or whether that's off putbacks and stuff like that. He had 6 offensive rebounds. A lot of those were converted into putbacks, but like, who else can really get you a bucket? Like AJ Lawson has been good at playing on the catch and shooting, or just like driving off those those closeouts. That's fine. Alijah Martin, I thought he did a good job. Actually, he was probably the guy in the second unit that actually created his own offense, and it wasn't a lot of it because he went 4 of 10 from the field and 5 of 5 from the foul line. So it wasn't like he was creating a ton of offense, but at the same time, I'm watching it and I'm like, in a game where it was really dire and guys weren't really able to score, seeing, Alijah just tuck the ball under his arm and just attack guys off drives and, try to get to the basket. Obviously he's smaller, so he's having to finish, over more size than he did in college. He also had to, sort of improvise a little bit and use his strength, but I like the way that other guys bounce off of him. He's still able to create just enough shot to like go up with relatively normal shots. He just has to play the glass a little bit more, maybe use either hand. But also his strength in going to the basket allowed him to get fouled, and some of his straight line drives were really able to create offense for the Raptors in a way that, just didn't see a lot of. And so you need your guards to sort of just be better for you just in general. Maybe I would love to see a little bit more playmaking from the bigs. Actually, probably the best pass of the game was actually from Ulrich Shamshay, who caught the ball at the elbow and threw a backdoor pass, a little bounce pass to Alijah Martin, who finished a very acrobatic and one. That it was a great pass. It was an even better finish. It was funny because after that play, Ulrich just kept trying to throw bounce passes in the lane like nonstop, and I'm like, dude, you can't just go back to the well every time on that. But still, like, just finding something else on offense, because I'm not gonna say that like winning on defense like this is not valuable. Like, it absolutely is, but it can be a little bit gimmicky, because I think that like outside of you being able to just dominate your opponent defensively and win the possession battle by a landslide, you still need your offense to get going to some degree. And really, we've only ever seen that in game 1, where the Raptors won that first one by like 100, I think 114 to like 97 or something, maybe less. I don't know. I think that was like a 40-point win. So in any case, the game 1, obviously everyone was scoring and it was feeling great, but like, you just need to see more consistent offense, especially considering the Raptors need to win 2 more games to actually secure this Summer League title. And, I don't think you could only do it on the defensive end. But again, like tonight, I thought it was a really, really gutsy effort. They were in it for a real fight. Honestly, the Warriors looked decent at the start, but when you look back on it, you're like, damn, bro. Like, the Warriors' leading scorer was Chris Mannon at 14 points. Nobody else scored more than 8 points, man. Like, that's actually kind of unbelievable to look at a whole game played by a whole other team and nobody scored more than 14 points. Only one guy scored 14 points, and then nobody else scored more than 8 points, man. I've never even seen a box score like this. Like, it's like 0, 6, 8, 7, 14, 4, 5, 3, 4, 8, 5, 5. Like, that was the box score scoring lines for the Warriors. And again, like, I think it just speaks to the overall pressure on the defensive end. But again, like, they need to figure something else offensively. I think Jamal just, the pick and roll game, I think, is the main thing that he does. And so I think maybe at the start of the next game, they involve him a couple more pick and rolls. I would say use him in a pick and roll with Collin a little bit more than let's say the pick and roll with like Colin Castleton or Shamshay. Like let Jamal work the pick and roll with Collin Murray-Boyles, or let him work it with Jonathan Mobley when he's back. I think those probably have more just like juice in terms of like there's more playmaking opportunities where he can throw like tougher passes. Collin has great hands, by the way. And by the way, when I say Collin, I mean Collin Murray-Boyles. Castleton can be Castleton. No, but like Collin has really good hands. So like you can throw him like tougher passes. He's able to just like, Velcro those passes right in. And then Mobley has just been finishing everything around the basket. So hopefully he's back actually for the semifinals and beyond. But yeah, I mean, and then Jacoby, I mean, part of that tonight was just he couldn't get the three to drop. He took some good shots. He just couldn't make them drop. But ultimately you would like to see him, be more of a consistent scorer, and he can drive it a little bit. He can like, fade away and draw fouls. He did one of those in the fourth quarter, which I thought was good. But ultimately you just need a little bit more offense from them. But again, like defensively, literally have no complaints. Like actually I tweeted this out, towards the end of the game as the Raptors were winning. But I'm just like, look, I hope that, let me put up my tweet. My hope is that the Raptors starters play with this much energy on defense as well. These young guys can score reliably, but they're all dogs on defense. And I think that, like, if the Raptors starters even played with a semblance of this level of intensity on defense, and I think Scotty does, but the rest of the guys, not as much. If the Raptors starters can replicate this level of energy and intensity on the defensive end, I think that like the Raptors actually have the chance to make the playoffs next year. I think that those hopes are actually realistic. And I also do think that like based on watching the Raptors bench struggle to score, I'm like, okay, that's where you take one of those guys like a Scott. Well, not Scotty's not going to move to the bench, but like, when you play with your rotations, like make sure you have one of Brandon or RJ or Scotty or Quick with the second unit when they're out there, because yes, their defense is going to be really good in terms of the pressure, but you also need somebody to sort of help them score, and those guys could all kind of give you 20 on any given night with no surprises. So hopefully they find the right balance there, because like low-key, like the Raptors, their depth is starting to look a little bit better. I mean, I was talking to Bobby during the course of Summer League, and one of the things he was just saying, he's like, I think he feels like there's 12 guys on this team that can play. And so, obviously you don't see 12-man rotations around the NBA, but I think the good thing is, number one, it helps you sustain injuries a little bit better. Obviously, we've seen injuries really hurt the Raptors over the last 2 seasons. But then the other part is just like, you also can sustain a higher level of defensive intensity if you play a deeper rotation where everyone's able to come in and give more effort per minute, and then you spread out some of those minutes along more players. I think hopefully that's sort of the case as well. But ultimately, yeah, like this is really fun. I'm happy to see the Raptors go 4-0 and advance into the semifinals. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsor. When we come back, we're going to take your questions. What's going on, everybody? The Hello and Welcome crew is officially headed to Las Vegas Summer League this week. What this means for the show is as follows. Officially, on the record, we're really excited to bring you the latest in the next generation of the Toronto Raptors, and also other young NBA stars from across the league. But of course, unofficially, this being Vegas and all, we are really looking forward to crashing a few exclusive NBA parties, rubbing shoulders with some of your favorite media personalities, and of course, catching up with all our dear friends from across the league. And when it comes time to be reaching for a beverage, we'll be asking for a Simply Spiked for us and the whole crew. And here's the thing. The fine folks at Simply Spiked have been really kind to send us cases to try of their new beverages. And let me tell you from firsthand experience, these are very crushable drinks. The limeade flavor is a very refreshing take on the original. The blackberry flavor has a nice tart twist. And of course, the cherry one, you already know that's the bomb. At 5% alcohol and made with real fruit juices, they're perfect to bring to any summertime outing, whether that's rubbing shoulders with NBA people or just having a nice little picnic in the park. Pick up Simply Spiked at your local store, try some for yourself, and we'll catch you when we're back in Toronto. There you go, baby. Don't forget, must be a legal drinking age, and you gotta celebrate responsibly. Man, we're gonna crack some Simply Spiked when the Raptors win the Summer League champ, aren't we?
Are we gonna pop it like champagne? That's
yeah, we should. Let's see if we can spray them a little bit. I think we can maybe spray them just a little bit.
We need to update that ad because we're back home.
Oh, I can't wait till she record another ad. You can tell I'm basically Don Draper the way I'm recording these ads.
Oh my god. No, you're cooking with these. To start things off,
What's the
Collin
chat saying, man?
Well, the chat is saying a couple stuff, but before we get to that, I mean, the first thing
yeah.
that we'll say that the chat is saying is, Koki here says, simply spiked, slapped.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
And this is the new soup ad. It really is.
But to kick things off, I mean, Collin Murray-Boyles was interviewed post game, and he was asked, like, "Have you seen the ring?" Mm-hmm. And he said, "I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about wins." But let's take a look at the ring.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. This is the ring that
Wow.
they're going to be winning. Whoever wins, they're going to be. I'm going to say they, as in the Raptors, are going to be winning at the end of this,
man.
right?
We're gonna force 86 turnovers in the finals.
What do you think? What are your thoughts here? It looks like there's no places to engrave. I mean, like, I'm still holding, our boy Phil to getting you one of these. I think it's only fair that way.
That's right, Phil. It's on record. It's on record that you told me after the last game that I was there at the Denver game. He said, you
earned that.
You should get a summer league ring if we win one. So, no, I mean it looks great, man. It looks great. I think it's funny that it says summer league at the top. I don't know, like it should say Raptors, but I suppose these aren't
there's
customizable.
Gonna be things that are gonna be changing. Oh, actually, yeah. Are they customizable? They must be, right?
Yeah. I think so.
I think so.
But that's kind of tough, though. Like, legit is kind of tough. I mean, like, look, realistically, we know that like other teams don't take summer league nearly as seriously.
Sure.
But if the Raptors want to take it seriously and they want to fight and play defense like it's serious, then who are they not to celebrate, man? You work hard and you celebrate your hard work. That's
the window
that's life.
to win a summer league title is much smaller than to win an NBA title in an NBA career.
Oh man, then the Raptors can say, we've won a summer league title, we won a G League title, we won an NBA title. How many franchises can say that, man?
Oh my goodness. First thing here is just a comment to you. Hope you're feeling better, Will. Will, honestly, you're at what, like 3.5 hours in of potting today at this point?
Easily, yeah, 3.5 hours. What's really carried me are these life cold and sinus daytime and nighttime. I'm actually gonna pop 2 of these nighttime right now because I do plan on going to sleep as soon as this thing's done. But yeah, I mean, like it's not ideal. I think summer league definitely kicked our asses in terms of just like my health wise. But I mean,
and you had to do the most talking. Like with all the potting and everything.
Of course. But I mean, number one, I love to yap, and number two, like, I really wouldn't have it any other way. So
it's kind of crazy.
Really
you actually sound way better than like points that I heard you. There was one of the days you absolutely sounded exactly like Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's tough.
Question here from Max. May I ask, why did you and the team leave Vegas a game early? Listen. We were there for a week.
I would have died if I.
There's no way we would have survived. Like, if anyone that was watching the game, like, there are only a handful of people that are still there. We saw a little bit of our boy Jeremy out in there, but Jeremy just arrived as we were leaving.
Hey, big shouts to Jeremy. He actually got the photo of tonight's game, man.
Thank you for the thumbnail, Jeremy.
Yeah,
we saw a friend of the show, Katie Heindel.
Yeah.
Katie is out there though with the sports business classroom, so ended up. Oh, is this the pitch? Woo!
Look how nice this picture is, man.
That is a nice photo. Thank you.
It's this game because there's a warrior in the foreground.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Katie, who's there because she's working the whole time. But literally, there's no media. We were the last to stay there at that point, which is why you might earn yourself a natural ring.
So this is how it goes to Summer League, right? The main focus of Summer League is a work conference. So everybody's there for the first weekend. That's when all the parties are, like the big media party, like the different agencies have parties, like that's what largely people are there for. There's like dinners and stuff like that. So, people are usually there for, the first 4 days. I mean, it's almost a mass exodus on that following Monday, typically. From the airport. We actually decided to leave on Tuesday. I mean, we had initially just decided the dates ahead of time. Like, we only have so many dates. We can't just
for so long.
Spend infinite amounts of money on something like this. But then I just kind of on a whim decided to book the overnight flight on the 15th just in case Raptors were playing on the 15th, and it just turned out that
dedication.
They were.
Yeah. We were in a chat, like we were in a group chat together where you pointed out once the schedule dropped, like, hey guys, just to let you know, because we did make our return flight a flex, so we could adjust it if we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But you were just like noting that, like, yeah, just to let you know, there is a game on the day that we're leaving. You're
Right.
on the red eye, and kind of like a bit of a Alex Jerome, if you want to change your flights, and zero budging.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, and totally fair, because it's actually really funny, because the last press conference that was against Denver, if you actually go listen to the two videos we uploaded on Jacoby and James Wade, if you listen to the questions, it's just me and Lieben Osman asking like 10 questions each.
Lieben. Yeah,
No, 'cause,
Lieben left when you left.
Nobody else was there, man.
Yeah.
By the way, if the Raptors win the Summer League title, I don't even think there's not even one reporter there from Toronto. I'm just telling you that much.
Right
man.
now, the people who are asking questions in postgame, this is the intel I got, is students from sports business classroom who are getting
nice.
to like practice their craft. Katie
Nice.
is organizing it, and another friend of the show, Dwayne Watson, is filming it for the full experience.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Uh-oh. Busting out the patois hat. Look at
Sorry,
that.
once I start sweating, I just like to wear hats.
There
But,
you go. Yeah.
This one doesn't fit my head as much, but shouts to Patois. Big
Shouts
fans to the
patois.
program.
Yes. Seawall in Berlin. This is just a comment. I think you just like flagged it right now. How many times has Will picked up his water bottle and not drank it?
Well, it's funny because on a solo pod, I guess I had to decide when I'm going to drink water and when I'm going to take a pause.
Sure.
And so I did realize at one point, like, am I recreating the Anthony Edwards Gatorade meme where I'm just like, and just not actually getting
like
to
faking
the
out?
drinking? Yeah. So I
Or you're
am
like
kind of
you're like
faking the water.
actor in a show where
Yeah.
because they have to do so many takes at a dinner table, they never actually eat. They're just always like,
Right.
playing with food.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm Brad Pitt in Ocean's 11. Shouts to Rusty.
I mean, that man's definitely eating each take.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as for stuff around the game or around the team,
All right.
to be honest, like the chat has been very divisive on a lot of things, and to be honest, it is way too late at night and way too in the middle of the summer to not just be genuinely happy for a 4-0 team because
Guys,
you never know when
the amount
the
of people
Raptors
killing
will be-
Colin Castleton is killing me.
It's-
I'm like,
it's-
yo,
it's
that's
unnecessary.
just
It's
a random
absolutely-
guy. Like, just please.
It's just
like,
a dude who's
Yeah.
just trying to play some basketball. But I just
Yeah.
have a bunch of like excited comments, which I think I'm
Okay.
a big fan of. So first off, all caps right here. We going for Summer League chip. Woo!
That's right.
Yeah, we are. Let's go.
I love this energy, man. The
I
Raptors
love
are
this
making Summer League.
overreaction of playoff basketball. We're back.
Woo!
I mean, Summer League playoff basketball. We're back. There's that.
Come on, man. This is the
Yeah.
first NBA playoffs we've been a part of since 2022. I
Oh
love
my
it.
goodness. There we go.
Wow. But you think everyone's playing so hard because, there's turmoil in the organization? They're like, we better all show our worth to the new president / organization.
You think it's one of those? You think it's like one of those
No,
like
I
new
don't.
bots in town? And
I
then we're all
actually
gonna,
don't.
like,
I actually
no, it's
don't.
not.
It's just kind of funny to speculate. But no, they're playing hard because they want to play hard. And I think that team culture is very important.
How many, honestly, like players that are like on the summer league team are like keenly aware about what's going on? In
Hell
MLC?
no. They don't give a...
They don't know anything
they don't
about
care,
it.
man.
They just need to get like a job on a team right
They're
now.
like 21-year-olds, man.
I
They
know.
don't care about anything other than TikTok and basketball, apparently.
Yeah, not even the Backstreet Boys.
They
All
definitely
right.
don't care about that.
Mill says W's in the chat. Many exclamation mark. Let's go
Hell yeah.
Raptors. Hell yeah. Here's some pettiness for you.
Mm.
Malawak 0-4. Lol.
Oh, man. I'm not going to lie. I did not watch any of Kamal Malawak or the Phoenix Suns in Summer League. But
The most we watched him was at the clutch party when he was across the room.
The one time we saw him was at the clutch party.
I do remember your agent Ike just being like, "There's Malawak," and we were just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Alex is in jail right now." Like,
We're like, hey, man, bigger story here. But, yeah, I mean, look, Malawak, I just looked up his box score, had 2 threes. That's cool for him. I mean, like, the thing is, with prospects, I really don't get attached. Like, first off, I trust the Raptors to... The one thing I trust them to do better than anything else is just draft. They're freaking good at drafting. So, like, whoever they end up picking, I'm going to be fine with it. And then number 2, I'm just like, like, look, I feel like CMB also just is a straight up better player in terms of just the all around game. I think more than anything else is just like maybe the fit's not there. But again, like, who really cares, man? People who use Summer League to justify their agendas is just kind of funny to me, man. It's a little too much. That's all. It's a
a lot going on.
But yeah, shouts
you know
to
what's an
Malawak at the
agenda I
clutch
can
party,
get
man.
behind?
What's
Get
up?
your cigars ready for this weekend.
Yeah, maybe like a little cigarello, man. Like like a whole cigar like for Summer League.
You're not bringing those Cubanos out?
Well, first off, my throat is already on Doc Rivers.
Oh
as
my
you
God.
mentioned,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
probably shouldn't
You'd
be
be
hitting those
suffering.
cigars. But maybe like maybe I don't know, like maybe a little like one little thin six or something. You know, maybe yeah. Maybe. Actually, we had this idea to draft the best cigarette situation
we're
for our
not doing
rankings, but we can't do that because
we need
none
a
of us
specific
smoke.
guest that can answer those questions for us, but we will talk about that some other day.
Yeah, so Tala said we're hitting the vape pen for this one. Honestly, I feel like that's appropriate. For Summer League, you should hit the vape. That's it.
Yeah. Over here we got Dog Show for all the dogs out there on the court.
Bark.
Chucky Hepburn in the interview that we'll eventually release, like, he said that I think multiple times in it. It just be a dog out there.
Oh, you know what? Actually, that would be a good clip of just you clipping out the 8 different times he said we're dogs.
Dog? Yeah, we're just
Yo,
dogs.
honestly, that would be no, because it was maybe a 10-minute sit down, I think. And
10 minutes, yeah.
I think he said dog like 15 times. I'm not even kidding. Like he just kept bringing up that they were dogs.
I think we have to do the dog compilation.
Yeah,
there we go.
Sick.
All right. Summer League champs, trophy
There we
emoji. Love that. Bench mob is back. 3 flame emojis.
Yo, listen, the one thing with the bench mob too, because we ran into a friend of the program, CJ Miles, when we were out there. CJ continues to try to become a photographer, and I think he's actually
being a photographer.
Sorry.
Sorry,
he is now switching over to becoming a photographer in his retirement. Actually,
he's a Fuji man. Respected that.
Oh yeah. Oh, is he? Oh,
yeah, he uses Fuji products, right?
Oh
yeah.
wow, this guy's Mr. Fuji. Shouts to Pokemon. But no, it's Mr. Is that Mr. Fuji or is that Mr. Fiji? Oh man,
might be Fiji.
Yeah, it might be Mr. Fiji. The guy who gives you the flute to wake up Snorlax. And so we keep running to CJ at all these events because we ran into an all-star as well.
That's right.
And he came around to Raptors practice and he was snapping pics of like the Raptors team. And I
they
kept
posted it on the account.
Yeah. And I kept asking him like, yo, do you see this Raptors bench mob 2.0 happening? Because like you were part of bench mob 1.0. And it was funny because CJ's role for that bench mob was just to be the older head who can really shoot the 3. At that time, it's similar to this bench mob, like that group just was not really good offensively. And especially because they couldn't really shoot that well just as a group, that they just kind of like spammed a lot of 3s to CJ Miles in the start of that. And so CJ was really important at the start of the season. But as CJ himself will tell you, and I've asked him multiple times about this on air, he was just like, telling everybody, yo, have the confidence to just shoot the damn ball. When you're open, just shoot it. Doesn't really matter, just shoot it, right? And over the course of that season, you saw his importance drop because other guys were starting to score a little bit more. But that was okay because
he was instilling confidence in them to actually do the scoring.
Yeah. So I'm hoping there's somebody who can play that CJ Miles role for this bench mob 2.0.
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
What's better than the Raptors going 4-0? That they're doing it on someone's birthday. Happy birthday, Devon Seven Landry. Grateful for the win on my birthday.
Happy birthday. Oh, man. You had a birthday. AJ Lawson had a birthday. My boy Josh Hart had a birthday. You know.
A lot of birthdays like floating around.
A lot of birthdays
around
this time
of year. My boy
of year.
Shay earlier in the week. See you at Garden this Sunday.
Sick.
Happy birthday to friend of the show, Jess. Ran into them yesterday while heading to the theater to watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Sick.
Yeah, love it. Hey, let's talk about free throws. Shamche hitting some free throws. Heart eyes emoji.
You know what? I feel just pleasantly surprised watching Shamche every day. The fact that he's already coming in here and outplaying Colin Castleton, which I know no one rates. Man, I feel so bad for Colin Castleton.
He doesn't need this.
All this guy's done
so
is just come to Summer League with the Raptors. But Colin Castleton, so like he played like, I believe he was a senior in college. He played 2 years in Michigan, then he played 3 years at Florida, so he got the extra year of COVID eligibility. But like was a very, very experienced player in college. Then he's since played with the Lakers, kind of on a 2-way, Memphis, and then Toronto as well. He also played like 5 games in Philadelphia last year after Toronto released him, but then the Raptors signed him back. My point is though, like that's actually a decent amount of experience, right? Like when you look at Colin, he's already 25 years old, and you know he's played a lot of basketball in his life. Ulrich Shamche he's got to be cheese looking at Ulrich Shamche being like, this guy's 19 years old. He started playing basketball 4 years ago. Decided to just drop farming and become a basketball player, and now he's better than me. Like, yo, I would be so pressed if I was Colin.
I'd be annoyed too, man.
I'd be like, yo, this guy doesn't even know how to play ball.
Oh my gosh!
But he's actually already doing better. So
no, he's looking so much better after last year. Okay, here we go. Is it wrong that I am excited about the fact that this team shot 80% at the free throw line? You could be happy about whatever you want at Summer League, my guy.
Yeah, there was that one game where they just kept smoking free throws. I think that was the Orlando game, and that's what made that game close towards the end.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing the Raptors did well tonight offensively was at least make free throws.
There you go.
Yo, it was a brick fest, man. It was definitely a brick fest.
It was not pretty. Hey, from Devon that wants to share the day. Also, OG Anunoby's birthday today. Shout out OG Anunoby. Shout out you for dapping up Will. Totally unforced, unprovoked. The person's head wasn't just hanging out there the whole time. Yep. You got to earn that.
You have to. I think the number one thing with summer league is you just have to you just got to put yourself out there.
Right.
You just have to put yourself out there. And typically I'm not really good at that in real life. But in a basketball setting, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, all right, OG. I mean, it's also OG. Like, it's not the first time I dapped up OG. Relax, guys.
There you go. Yes, it's happened.
It's not like we're friends.
We had photos with OG, like, from the previous summer league.
We did. We did have photos with OG in the previous summer league. This guy loves wearing a hoodie. Just always has a zip hoodie.
I'm always so impressed
and shorts
and intrigued by him wearing hoodies in, like, the hottest weather possible.
Yeah. But I think he's trying to be, like, discreet or like a.
It wouldn't be. It would
like,
be
you're
OG
Anunoby,
to be
man.
low
You're
key
very
about
famous,
things. I think I can see him doing that more or less as a bit anyway.
You know what? He does feel like he's doing a bit. Yeah. I feel like he's doing less bits in New York though. It feels like he's more serious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's winning. we the North says our bench has been awful for a few years, but now winking emoji.
Well, I do want one of those guys to be able to score.
Sure.
Maybe on a more consistent basis. But again, like, I guess
we also have players on the current roster that will probably be on the bench as well with them. Like this, like we're looking at players on this team that will like make up part of the bench.
Yeah.
Like obviously for all the excitement that we have. Like I remember seeing a comment on there in the chat about like these players will probably amount to at most about 10 to 15 minutes of a game actually in the season. But nonetheless, everything feels promising, and it's nice to have all these options to explore.
The way that Collin is, like, his body is like size. Like, I actually think for a lot of rookies, like, one of the reasons they can't play a lot is just like they're physically unable. Like they start breaking down, or like they're just a little too skinny. I think Collin might actually be able to stick from day one, which is going to give him a huge leg up.
Right.
And I'm looking forward to seeing him and Mobo playing in a two-man kind of like small ball 4-5 combination in the backcourt because they both have pretty good basketball IQ, man. And I really like the way he's playing.
Yeah. Final comment here from Tala. That hint makes you look like a line cook, lol. Tala, guess what? We also know what you look like, so...
No. It's okay.
No, it's a good one. It's a good one.
It's okay. I'm going to wear it backwards now, guys. There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
God, this is worse. I'm going to go with the front. Go with the front. God damn it, man.
Oh, my goodness.
All these pills of sweating is crazy. Anyway, great win. Had a great time with this one. We were going to talk Dame, but realistically, I really had nothing more to say about Dame other than I'm just happy he chose not to chase a championship and just go home to his kids. Like, not enough NBA players just choose to go home to their kids.
Right.
Like, I'm just going to say that. So happy that Dame did that.
Yeah.
Technically got a bag out of it too, which is nice. But also, it's not even about that, man. I mean, him going back to Portland's actually a really fun team. And once he gets healthy, I mean, him and Hansen. Woo,
there you go.
By the way, Hansen these days, looking good, man.
Hansen looking pretty good.
Hansen is looking pretty good, guys. I'm not going to lie. I finally got to watch a little Hansen tonight because the Blazers game was up before the Raptors won. By the way, the Summer League, like, I don't know, like, the gym is, like, too packed or whatever. So, like, they all keep running late, especially in Cox Pavilion. So when people are like, oh, Raptors are on at 10, they're turning on the TV at 10. There's, like, the whole fourth quarter to go between the Portland game and Houston. But no, Hansen's been looking good, man. Hansen's been looking really fun, and
I think we're gonna have to figure out a way to make it out to Portland maybe this year.
Well, absolutely. And when Portland's here, my goodness, man, the amount of Chinese media here is gonna be nuts. But like, no, I just think that I think back to that that fateful dinner we had with Bobby after that lovely Holt Renfrew interview that we've referenced 28 times since we've done it. But I was at that dinner and I was begging him across the table. I'm like, Bob, let's get Hansen. Let's get Hansen on the Raptors.
We didn't get Hanson, but
And
we got Backstreet Boys tickets.
you know what?
We
Actually,
got something out of that dinner.
I can't hate. I can't hate. But what was straight up begging this man? Because he would have changed our careers, man. Not only just as a great player, but damn, just as a Chinese player in Toronto.
Oh, man.
You understand? You don't understand how much clout we would have.
The Henson interview wouldn't even be a request. They would be requesting you like, you're the only one that can do this, Will. We need you for this interview.
For sure.
Yeah.
No,
here's one more comment.
Guy,
damn, Jerome picking up half court in defense of Will's hat. That's right. That's what a Scorpio does. They are protective.
That's right. But I also vibe with this comment. Just breaking a fever and vibing on stimulants, Will returning from Vegas like a degenerate. Honestly, I was far from the number one degenerate in Vegas. We all know that was Alex. Now that he's not here, and now that the banter pod is over, we could truly say Alex was on one the whole trip.
Alex,
man.
Congratulations on winning your Betway bet tonight on the Raptors.
Yeah, that's right.
I think got a $10 return.
Alex was on. He was at Earl's, I think. He said it was Earl's on King.
He was at Earl's on King. Yeah.
This guy was at Earl's on King watching the Raptors Summer League game, man. Shouts to Alex for doing that, man.
Alex in the chat post game. City Boys back up. Fuck, I'm hyped. All caps.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, those. I mean, yeah, he slapped down $5 on the Raptors after seeing the first quarter, and the Raptors only had 13 points in the first quarter.
Oh my god.
They still won though. They still won. It's all good.
But yeah, shouts to everyone in the chat. Thanks for hanging around. Shouts to friends of the show, Ingrid and Akila, who are working the night shift right now. So they're working until 6 a.m. So we're keeping them company over here. So
another banter
salute.
pod. Let's go.
Salute.
Just listen to Banter Pod twice. You'll get through your shift.
Yeah, you'll be there. You'll be all set. Will, do you have some 3 stars for us?
3 stars from tonight's performance. Number 1 star is Collin Murray-Boyles. CMB, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, 8 of 13 from the field. Knocked down a 3. Just was excellent on both ends of the floor, really. All that in 25 minutes, too. I thought he played a great game for the Raps. Number 2 star, I'm going to give that to Alijah Martin. I thought he did a great job for the Raptors in the second unit, especially in the third quarter there. The whole game was basically the starters would play okay, and then the bench would give it up, and then the starters would play okay, and then the bench would give it up, right? That's why the Raptors bench is all minuses, and then the Raptors starters are all big pluses outside of Collin. Damn, another straight by Collin. Man. Damn it, man. Sorry, Colin Castleton. But yeah, like when the starters gave up, pushed the lead in the third quarter, and then the Warriors came back with a 14-0 punch in return, I thought it was really important for the Raptors bench in their final shift in the fourth quarter to do well, and I thought Alijah did a lot of great things in that stretch. I thought he rebounded the ball really authoritatively as well. Again, he's only like 6'1", 6'2". Like when I interviewed him, we're like eye level, man. So, 13 points, 7 rebounds for Alijah, 2 steals. Got himself to the line 5 times. A lot of those were just driving finishes. Had that really nice finish, cutting back door from always Shamshay, and he finished with the reverse layup. But I really, really liked Alijah's performance off the bench. You also saw, like, first half, it was a lot of Chucky Hepburn running offense for the second unit. He did have 5 assists, but he just wasn't really a threat to score at all. Second half, you saw a lot more Alijah running it. So, yeah, good for Alijah, man. You already know I really am a big fan of his story. And then your 3rd star, it's tough to pick a 3rd star in this one. I'm going to give it to Jamison Battle. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block. I like Jamison's ability to rotate at the basket and make a couple plays. You just don't usually see that from him. And I guess maybe you shouldn't necessarily see that from him because he's not that athletic and he's not that big. But I thought his defense was noticeably better than it was a year ago. A lot of that, I think, is just experience more than anything else. But I thought he played a really good game. Couldn't even knock down the 3 that much tonight. But he still went 4 of 8 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, plus 11 and 11 points for Jamison Battle, who, just continues to be steady, just like last year in Summer League. Your Gerald Henderson Award winner, I don't even know how you could pick one when every single player is in single digits. Let's just give it, who am I going to give this to? Actually, I'm going to give this to Isaiah Mobley, just as an extension of my slander for the Mobley family. There's one point in the fourth quarter where Isaiah Mobley was like, he was like turning to the bench and he's like, review, and they just did not review for him. They're like, oh, you thought you were Evan Mobley the way you were begging for that review. In fact, he was begging for the review so long that he was called for a delay of game, and it was the second delay of game for the Warriors, which resulted in a free throw for the Raptors. I was crying, man. I'm like, no way Isaiah Mobley's begging for the review. Brother, it's not happening for you, man. But in any case, 3 points and 3 rebounds for Isaiah Mobley.
Chris Manning did get the one double-digit scoring, right? 14 points.
I just wanted to slide in a little extra Mobley slander.
I think it was the right call. Yeah.
That was that was cracking me up so much. He's like, that was off of Ulrich. I'm like, yo, shut up, man. The game's over. Anyway, really fun game. Appreciate you guys. Raptors will play. When is the schedule actually going to be announced? I don't even know.
I think they're going to be playing Saturday, I think is what they said at the end of the broadcast.
Oh, yeah?
But I don't know the specific thing. Like, I think the, whatever you call it, the playoff round, the semi-round starts Saturday.
Okay.
Are you looking it up right now? I'm sure there's like an NBA summer
I'm hoping schedule. It was actually announced somewhere. Maybe the NBA official account. You would think that they would announce something like this.
Well, are there still games going on right now that they need to finish up before they can set that? Is that why?
Well, there's definitely, like, just because every other team, like, every team's guaranteed to play 5 games. Okay, so here it is. Raptors will play Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. They're playing the Sacramento Kings.
Okay, there you go.
So that's one of the semifinals. The other semifinals is OKC versus the Charlotte Hornets. Con Kniffel, by the way, I have not seen this guy miss in Summer League, so he's been killing it. But, of course, OKC has AJ Mitchell. They have Nikola Topic. But, yeah, Raps Kings.
Wait, if they make it, does that mean they're also going to be playing on the 20th right after for, like, the final?
I think so.
Because I do have, like, 3 slots here for TBD.
Right. The championship game, if the Raptors do win on Sunday against the Kings, they'll play in the championship game. That'll be Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Why, bro? Why is it so late?
Oh, boy.
Okay, well, yeah, so maybe we'll work both nights of the weekend then. Goodness, man.
We're going to definitely have to record a new Simply Spike for the next 2. Yeah. We might have to do the championship Simply Spike celebration. We will promise that if we win on the 20th, on the Sunday.
Man, maybe we should just fly back out to Vegas for the weekend, man. Goodness, man. Somebody's got to cover this team. We just have students practicing covering the team right now. There's not one reporter in Vegas for Toronto. I'm telling you,
I will give you this one, Will. If you just send that message in Slack and put the feeler out there, and if you somehow do convince them to put you in for 2 more days,
I could probably do it. Honestly, I could probably do it. But
Will, I will fly with you.
No,
I will
don't
make that
do
promise
it.
now.
Don't do it, man, guys.
I've seen you try to set up a stream on your own down there.
I'm ill. I'm ill at this point, man.
I know you are ill.
I'm not going back out to Vegas, bro. That place is evil.
That's also why I want to be there by your side to support and care for you, buddy.
Hey, we're more than happy to just cover the games from here too, man. You know, Absolutely. Like after giving our all out there, like, you know, so I need to go back out there for a weekend. My God, it's
W's in the chat for Will go back this weekend.
Please, please don't do that.
Don't make him do that.
Don't make me do this, bro. I don't. Oh my God.
Look. In the grand scheme of how much of a Raptors and NBA sicko you are, sometimes we just have to call bet. We just have to push you to your limit, you know?
God.
You know?
I'm going to Europe soon, man. I'm not trying to go to Vegas twice in a week. Let's stay really close to the Thomas and Mack. Let's stay at like the Virgin.
How disappointing would it be if we actually did fly out and they lost?
That's what I'm saying. No. We'll watch it from home, guys. We'll watch it from home. We'll all watch it together.
We're watching it from home.
We'll go live right after the game. It'll be great, guys.
Don't worry.
You won't miss a second of coverage, man. Stop sending W's in the chat to send me to Vegas, man. Don't you care about my well-being? You see me taking
LV's in the chat, everyone. LV's in the chat.
Goodness, man. Goodness. All right. That's it for the pod. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Raps advance to the semifinals. We will see you after the semifinals game against the Kings. That will be on Saturday at 4 p.m. Clear your weekend, Raptors fans. We are watching a championship team in the making. This has been the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. We out.